Welcome to the video podcast. My name is Florence Straka. This video podcast is all about life experiences, blogging, inspiration, and mindset. In today's episode, I am going to walk you through the visitor that I had. I mentioned in my earlier video podcast about a visitor that I had. At this time, we are in 2001. So 2000 has passed. Now in 2001. And so everything has changed. My job is going well. I'm making quite a few money. I'm saving a lot. One day I went to work. I came back. I always come home very late. So I came home and who do I saw? My mom. She came with my younger brother. So she came. At this time, I think it's almost like over 4 years that I haven't seen her at all. I always thought about her, but I just don't want to go back to where she was. I didn't want to go there at all because of all the bad experience that I had. And I knew she's there. She doesn't want to move. She wasn't making any attempt. So I just left it as it was when I left. So she came. She slept with my grandmother. She slept in the living room. So when I came, my grandmother, they didn't go to bed when I came. My grandmother was outside. I saw her face. I can see immediately that was a heavy beating. Heavy beating. Her face were all swelling up. You can see the dark eyes and all that. I don't know what to say. I didn't say anything. So I said welcome. And because she heard me that I was back from work, so she came out, we had a little chat, and I went to bed to my mansion, which is my wooden structure, and she slept with my grandmother in the living room. So my grandmother slept in the actual bedroom. The next day, because of how my job is, I have to go to work very early in the morning. So I told her I'll be leaving very early. I will not see her, but it was almost, I think that was Thursday, so I might be getting Saturday off. So I told her, then we can have a little chat, but I will try to come home a little bit early. And so I went to work, came back. My grandmother prepared meal. They had meal before I came home, so I was back home probably by 8 in the evening. So we were able to chat. And so she told me that she's planning to leave, but she doesn't know where to go. She doesn't have money. She doesn't have anything. But she had this plan. A friend, actually was my aunt. My aunt mentioned a piece of land that somebody is selling. That is where my aunt is living, in the town that we were living before we left. This is almost a town. It's like it's developing, but it's still the town. You just walk maybe 5-10 buildings and you are in the middle of the town. So there is this plot that she wanted to buy, and if she's able to buy the plot, we can just put one single room on it quickly, and then she can move there. And so that is a plan. But before then, she wants to rent a little place which is close to where the piece of land is that she will start developing. So that's why she came. I said, okay, that is a good idea. So I told you I was saving. This is why I wanted to stress on this, that saving is really good. Because when she came, these were all the things that I was thinking about when I was saving, because I wanted to help. So with my saving, I was able to have quite a few money in the bank. So when she told me how much this piece of land was, I will be able to afford it. By then, in 2000, buying a plot, a piece of land, that wasn't hard at all. If you have the money, you can. So I said, well, if that is the case, because I also want her to leave that place. But it wasn't something she can just leave right away. It's a strategic. She has to be strategic about it. She has to plan it. She doesn't want my stepfather, to know that anything is happening. And so what she did was, I gave her the money. She went, but she stayed with a week with my brother. I was able to see my brother. I haven't seen him for over 4 years. So I was able to see them both. And I gave her the money. I gave her a little bit more. And so she left. I don't know what her plans were. So this is what she told me, and this is what I can help. So she went. And so we decided that if that is the case, then I will be visiting. Then I will now be visiting back home. It will only take about maybe 2.5 to 3 hours drive. Our roads are not that good. So it's something maybe might take maybe an hour drive. Might take me an hour and a half 2-3 hours, because we are not driving in our own cars. You have to take a bus. You have to go to the bus station, wait for the bus until the bus is full before we leave. So it takes a lot of time. It takes you almost a whole day traveling back to where we were living, which is Kpando. And so she left, and I planned that in after a month I'll go and visit. So after a month I went back. I bought few things that she might need. I bought a bucket, few things that she will use. So I went to the village that she was living. Nobody has seen me for over 4 years. So everybody was, oh no, yeah. My stepfather was there pretending as if everything is good. In my mind, no. In my mind, nothing was good. And so I stayed. I didn't even sleep there. I came back to the town, to the city to sleep. I didn't want to stay there overnight at all. So I left. We had a little chat. She said she's planning, she bought the land. She's just moving her stuff little by little. Every 5 days is market day at the city. So she take 1 or 2 clothing, put it in her things that she's carrying to the market, and then she will leave it with my aunt, the one that helped us, took care of her when she was sick at the hospital. So she was doing that. And then she also, the person who wanted to rent the house, the place for her to be living, where she actually moved, she rented the place. And so she's moving the stuff to that place little by little. So gradually her things were empty, but he doesn't know, because he doesn't go to check her luggage to see what is in there. So she's moving little by little. And she's also taking care of the plot, because we already bought the land. My mom is a hard worker. No, she worked so hard. They were farmers. We farm. She works like a man, strong woman. So she was already developing the land. So every 5 days that she comes to work, she comes early. She will go and spend 1 hour, 2 hours there, clearing the land, planting some palm nut trees. She planted some banana, plantain tree. She's planting them to just other place for now. And so that was what she was doing. She told me. And I said, well, that is good. So that gave me a little hope that finally, she's thinking of moving from there. She haven't moved yet, but she's moving her stuff, which is good thing. And so I can see my mom has her features, everything has degraded like a bitterness, an angry person within herself. I can see all written over her face, everything, because of the beatings. I think after I left, it was even worse. But I could not just understand why she stayed so long. I mean, after 4 years after I finished high school, over 4 years. How many years now? We moved there when I went to junior high, which was 3 years. That was 3 years. I went to high school for another 3 years. And that was 6 years. I moved to Accra, to the capital, and started working for 4 years. That was 10 years total. 10 years living with abusive husband. They were not even married. They were just boyfriend. They were not really married. Lived for 10 good years living with abusive stepfather. And not only her, me, I was included. I was beaten too. How can this be possible? How can we as a women allow ourselves to be tortured by a man just because we have no place to go, we have no help, we have nothing? Why do we have to allow ourselves to be maltreated like that? It always pains my heart. It pains my heart, even after my mom passed away. This is something that pains me every single day. Whenever my mind went back home, whenever my mind went back from where my junior high, my high school time, breaks my heart. It pains me a lot. That she allowed herself to be treated that way just because we don't have any help. Nobody's going to help us. She overstayed for over 10 years before she decided she was leaving. This is something that breaks my heart all the time. I promise myself I will never allow myself, no matter how rich the person is, my husband, a boyfriend, no matter how rich what they have, I will never, the moment they raise one hand on me, whether I have children, whether I do not have children, wherever I am out. Nothing, no amount of begging, no amount of sorriness, no amount of words will change my mind. I have made up my mind. I have made up my mind. And this was what helped me. Any relationship that I had when I was in Accra, the moment you started even to abuse, abuse comes in many forms. It's not only beatings. Abuse comes in many forms. Because of my stepfather, I've learned so much about abusive people. People can just insulting you alone is you are being abused. Degrading is abuse. People looking upon you like you are nothing. It's an abuse in a different form. So abuse takes many forms. You would think, oh, this person will insult you. After that, they will come back to you. Oh, I'm sorry. Don't allow that. Don't allow that. It will get to a point you will have no strength to stand for yourself. No strength to stand for yourself. And as a woman, no woman in this world should allow themselves to be beaten, to be degraded like how my mom allowed herself. I know she didn't intend for it to be like that, but that was it. She overstayed. She overstayed. And it always breaks my heart. It hurts me even now. It hurts me so much. If you are watching this on YouTube, subscribe to the channel and wherever you listen to your podcast. I hope your day goes well. And I'm with very, very heavy heart today, sharing this with you. I hope if you are a woman, even if you are a man, because men also go through this, don't let ourselves to be abused by anybody. Take care.